Hey, what are you doing? I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's on a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life. It's in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make sense?
Sorry to hear that. And it's sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
This clip just burns me up, guys, because I look at this man, I see a regular working Joe, a gentleman who my guess is he's talking about a spool of wire that he's owned for 40 years. That means he's got to be at least in his early, perhaps even his mid-60s. This is a man who purchased something back during the Reagan administration, and he used an allegory to his so-called wife, who came out there not checking to see if he was okay, not checking to see if everything was going well with him. No, she came out the door with an accusatory tone, the exact same tone she would have used if the pool boy was taking an unauthorized coffee break, or if the guy she hired to fix the fence was on his phone talking and lollygagging. She was offended that he wasn't busy doing something, that she could look at and see him being physically active. There are women like that, guys, and she's one of them. She was just the dismissiveness of her approach. This man is looking at this wire, and again, an allegory of his life. A man his age probably has adult children, grandchildren, maybe even a great-grandchild or two at this point in the game. Worked his entire life. I look at this guy, I don't see stockbroker. I don't see investment banker. I see a guy who probably worked in a factory somewhere. Construction, maybe. Plumber, electrician, blue-collar tradesman. Worked with his hands his whole life. Who's now probably retired on the back end of his time here on this planet. 60 plus years. 40 of them encompassed in that spool of wire. And this is a man who is probably the closest he's ever been to an existential crisis of realizing he's got way more winters behind him than he does in front of him. He's thinking about his children, his life, his career, opportunities taken and missed, all rolled into one. These are the kind of thoughts you have when you're trying to get your affairs in order. Will planning, things of that nature. Again, he's a granddad, I'm guessing, at his age. Great-grandfather, perhaps. And he's sitting up here realizing, and he's coming face to face with it in the palm of his hand, a reflection of his own mortality. And the best she could come up with was, well, sucks to be you. You're wearing your Jets hat. That's got to be why you're upset. Rather than hearing what he had to say, absorbing it, and coming to him with what we've been told women are good at. Empathy, understanding, softness. He got none of that from his so-called spouse. Guys, this gentleman's plight is a great example of commitment wasted and falling for the purposeful fallacy fed to us by the multimedia complex. We've been fed, spoon-fed, that you can trust them by Disney, by the Hallmark Christmas movies. This guy put a ring on her finger, guys. This careless, heartless, concrete-hearted piece of shit he calls a wife. Here he is, sitting alone with his thoughts, not bothering anybody, and here she comes bringing conflict. And I tell you what, she didn't hear a word he said, but I promise you, if one of her favorite TV shows, they killed off one of the characters, or if she had a chick at her job who was giving her a hard time, taking the stapler off her desk, or whatever, something else ridiculously goofy and inane, she would expect for him to sit down, listen to her entire spiel, listen to her complain about whatever and or whoever. And then, after doing all of that, having wasted his time enough, she would also expect of him, as ridiculous as this is and sounds, to go against his own nature as a man and not offer a single solution for the problem, so-called, that she brought to him. He would just be expected just to sit there and absorb that bullshit and not put his headphones in, not cut the TV on, not look off into space or read a book or the paper. No. She would demand to be heard. She would demand that of him. And if he didn't give it to her, he'd be the bad guy. But look at what happens when it's his turn. And he's actually got something to say. He knows she has no solution for this because you can't unring a bell and you can't unwind the clock. Father Time and gravity come for us all. He knows she can't solve this problem. But the least she could do in his mind is be a comforting voice. Honey, listen, I know we're getting older, but we're in this thing together. Ride or die till the wheels fall off. How much better would he have felt in that case? That's not what he got. He got a stranger under his roof. Guys, every day they prove they're not worthy. My advice to this gentleman, because a great divorce would destroy him. He doesn't have enough time to rebuild his entire life from scratch if she walks off with half or more. The kids are grown, so no child support. That's helpful. But my advice to this guy would be to go to his doctor in the morning. Go to his doctor first thing in the morning. Just knock on the door, no appointment. Just bust the fucking door down and say, Doc, I need you to give me a head to toe physical. I've got these ailments. I got arthritis in my knees, got a bad back, but I've got this going on. Take my blood right now. Tell me what my cholesterol is. What's my blood sugar? Test my testosterone right now. Give me the guidelines. What exercises can I do in my current condition with my current health chart that you know about my ailments and things of that nature? What can I do physically starting today? And get those answers from Doc. Have Doc print them out for you. You can do these exercises for these muscle groups. You can't lift more than X pounds. Cool. Get some resistance bands. Do some calisthenics, bodyweight exercise at your own house or at the gym or at the play park up the street. I would tell this man, this hardworking man who might even be a veteran like myself. I don't know. He may or may not have served his country, but he's damn sure served his family. I would tell him to build his body back. Don't leave her, but ice her ass out. Put it in his mind that the way forward from this point on, the last time I opened up to you in that backyard about that wire was the last time I opened up to you. All you got to me from now on is who won the Yankees game. What's the weather outside? A couple this age probably still has a landline. So, the phone's for you. You get nothing but the absolute surface. You get the onion skin, not the onion itself. That's all you get from now on. Sleep next to it in bed as long as you can stand it. But be working on your physicality, my brother. You've already put the time in. You're probably already retired and getting your pension. Do your thing on that. But build your body back up. Lose body fat, gain muscle mass. Get some Just for Men for that beard unless you want to keep the salt and pepper gray. But build yourself up while icing her ass the fuck out. And she's going to wonder, are you cheating on her? But don't. She's going to wonder, what's going on? Why is he completely iced me out like this? Because you deserve it. Guys, if there's anything to take away from this gentleman's story and his experience, I would say this. If you haven't figured it out yet, it is against your best self-interest to let a woman know your deepest inner thoughts. You will be punished. And if you're not punished outright, you will be disregarded. But please make sure that you take her feelings as seriously as possible, though. Please make sure you're there to listen to all her problems. Please make sure that anytime she has a little boo-boo, both physically and or emotionally, that you stop, drop, and roll, whatever you're doing, to make sure that you roll out the red carpet for her and that you have a listening ear. That's the dynamic they want. You get dog shit. She gets rose petals at her feet. That's all I got for today, fellas. That's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.